But Tim and Kevin, they are what the entire league should be like.
Now, I made a statement on TNT. I said, when all of the verbal spats were going between supposedly you and Scottie Pippen, I was like, that happens all the time. These guys still could play together and have a good year. What'd you think about that?
We could have played together.
And you think you would have been successful?
Yeah, because I played with guys. I mean, because you think about it. You know, everybody talk about, you know how it is in this league. Nobody, there's always guys on the teams that don't like each other, you know, and that always goes on. And unless you lose and nobody says anything about it. Now, if you're winning, nobody says, well, everybody keeps it quiet. But when you lose, they say, well, them guys don't get along in the first place. Right. But, you know, on every team, there's guys who don't like each other. And I could have played with Scottie, and I enjoyed playing with Scottie.
What you said has made news, being controversial, so to speak.
If a famous person says something, they call it controversial. But if regular Billy Bob on the street says something, it's like, well, that's his opinion.
Right.
But, you know, I don't look at myself as controversial or outspoken. If they don't want my opinion, they shouldn't ask me questions. You know, I'm not saying everything I say is right either. But the press is funny. They said, well, Charles is controversial. I'm not controversial. I'm not going to answer any question unless you ask it to me.
Right.
You know? Right. But if you ask me a question and I don't say what you want me to say, don't get mad.
Charles Barkley, the one and only, and take a look at the career in 16 seasons, 15th in games played, and you see the numbers: 3rd in points, 2nd in rebounds, 6th in field goal percentage among active players. But to the matter at hand right now, the current state of the Houston Rockets, guys, what are the theories on an 0-4 team early on?
First of all, Charles never met a soundbite that he didn't like. But, you know, what I see going on there is that during the exhibition season, Steve Francis was, you know, great rookie, was allowed to do just about anything he wanted. Now, he had a lot of turnovers in those games, but he was pushing the ball, and he wasn't waiting for Akeem and Barkley to get down court with him. There are enough young guys on that team to run with him. Now the season started, he's very passive. I'm told that Rudy Tomjanovich is telling him, get the ball into the post. So they've reverted back to their old game. My thing in there, Ernie, Kenny, I would trade both of those guys. I think they missed a big chance when they could have traded Akeem Olajuwon during the offseason before the fans sniffed it out in Houston and everybody got upset. Now was the time to trade Akeem. Now is the time to trade Charles. I talked to somebody at the Lakers today. I said, hey, you need a power forward. Why not trade Rice for Charles Barkley?
For 1 year, that'd be interesting to see if someone would bite on that. But the thing is, they're similar to the Detroit Pistons right now. Both teams are struggling because this is the first time in their franchise in a long period of time that they've committed to running. So no one is used to running. The second thing that's wrong with Houston is you have a lot of guys who've never been starters before. You have Walt Williams, who's been a starter a little bit early in his career, but on a consistent basis hasn't been. Kelvin Cato, Steve Francis, his first time. So these guys, starting is a lot different from coming off the bench.
But Kenny, they're not really committed because they're not running. What I see here is that it's a sign of solidarity by the team. Barkley's retiring. They've decided to retire with him. Only they're not going to play out the season. They're just
well, let's talk about Charles Barkley and when you look back at the big picture in the NBA, where he is going to rank. Where's his place?
Well, it's
best
funny.
Small forward that played power forward ever.
His 6'4" frame is interesting. To, you know, that kind of size. But he said one thing when I was interviewing him. He said that players are going to be forgotten. And there's going to be no myth about Charles Barkley. People are going to say 10 years from now, oh, yeah, he was just a good player. And they say that around the Kevin McHale's and everyone else, and someone else is going to fill in his spot. He might be true, but he's still going to be held up in those top 50 cents.